So if y'all exhausted everything from professional perspective and standpoint, have y'all ever tried to facilitate within the community, like the brother spoke on, allowing some people in the community to govern themselves to some extent, but have a relationship with the LAPD, so that if we allow them within our communities for them to have guns, that if someone's held accountable for it, I know if I'm in this community and you're chasing somebody in my neighborhood that's supposed to have guns, and I'm accountable for it, that I can be brought to justice for it, then I'm going to make sure that in my community that y'all not having guns when these people come through, if I have a safe. So if I'm working and have a relationship with the authorities, and we're working together because I am a part of the community and y'all are part of the law, and we both is here to uphold justice and watch over the kids in the community, then have y'all ever tried to work with the gang members in a way that we can facilitate a thing like this?
Go ahead. Okay. I think that yes, we have. I think we're better at it today than we've had it in the past. The whole idea behind gang intervention and the mayor's office, grid office, is to work with people in different ways that we never worked with before. We rely on and respect the work that gang intervention does in helping us not have to come into the neighborhoods or being able to talk to people about guns and trying to calm people down when things are riled up because there has been a gang shooting of some sort. So we're interested in all of those ways and getting better at that. I think that our job and what we're sworn to do is to protect the community, and I think there's a lot of different ways to do that. But taking people to jail will always be a part of that also. And I have to have evidence, and I have to follow the Constitution, and I have a lot of things I have to be able to do to be able to take somebody to court. I can't hold you accountable for something somebody else does, even if you take responsibility for it, which I think is a great thing to do. But I appreciate your help, but those are some of the things we're saddled with.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a public service announcement. We will be bringing out water in a minute, and fortunately and unfortunately, they're in Budweiser cups, so I don't want you guys. Right. So I don't want you guys to think that So I mean, and thanks to CP. So I just want you guys to Budweiser cups. You want to get so I just, some of you guys, try to get a little bit true. You see a Budweiser cup, you're going to be like shocked. So I just it's going to be for water.
I know half the guys in here. I'm glad you called.
Protocol recommendations, that could be questions I think is answered as possible enough. Regarding the officer-involved shooting where people were shot in the back, we worked with a number of families where the person was not armed. It was maybe assumed to be armed, or the call came out that they were armed, but they were not armed. So for the safety of the people that are running, again, I agree totally that almost always the people on probation or parole, and they may not even face that much time, but the fear of going back inside overrides everything, and your common sense. Sometimes people have mental illnesses and react wrongly, and so to prevent unnecessary loss of life, I'm wondering if a new protocol could be written that when someone is running away from the police, with or without suspicion of having a gun, that the protocol be call for backup, bring the helicopter out, secure the perimeter, and try to track him down that way, as opposed to shooting first and asking questions later, just because we work with so many families who, mostly young people, mostly young men, have been killed, shot in the back, and again, in many cases where they weren't armed at all. Secondly, I know we've asked this before, but I'll just keep asking it in hopes that one day it will happen. We've worked a lot with families too that they're re-victimized by the media, because when the shooting happens, the initial statement that's made by police departments, not just LAPD, but other departments also, is often that the person was on parole, they were gang involved, they were armed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The kind of picture that's painted of the person that in this case was often dead is that they were an evil or bad or monstrous person that kind of, I wouldn't say deserved what they got, but that's kind of why the community's left. And so the community and the family, it tends to raise anger because community members that knew them don't believe that about them or see them more as a whole person. And the family, of course, is just really angry, upset, hurt. And then when that stuff oftentimes is not true, not always, but sometimes it's not true, there isn't like a public apology, or by that time, if a refraction retraction is made, it's too late. Like, the media's not going to pick up on that like they were right after the shooting. So I guess the question is, what we're recommending is that just as questions about the officer come at you, give that permission to...
We want to come back to that. I want to give them a chance because what you said is very important. You reiterated. Can there be a protocol put in place? And also, what about the defamation of characters of individuals?
But I guess the protocol recommendation there would be just make the same statement about the officer, which is it's under investigation. It's under investigation.
Well, thank you.
I start with the second piece, Tim, is that it's never good to demonize an individual, whether that is, we have learned a lot of hard lessons over the years, and I know that it's a conversation that the three of us have on a regular basis. It does us no good to demonize an individual. We still need to provide some sort of information to the public, but I'm sensitive to the fact that the individual that was shot is still under investigation. At that particular time, the incident is still under investigation, and that person has a family. So the information, try to do it just briefly. But you're right. We have in the past that has been done, and we can be more careful with that. The perimeter piece on chasing the suspect is something that we actually teach to our officers about holding a perimeter, bringing in a helicopter, bringing in additional units, and then safely and slowly working through that. That is generally with somebody that we know for sure has committed a crime, and for somebody that's robbed somebody down the street, for example, and then takes off running. That is something that we teach to contain rather than continue to chase down the driveway. We don't. It's all. Most of it is. It depends on the circumstances presented to the officer. It's hard to give us a hard, fast rule, but there is training on the containment.
All right, Sister Harris, you guys have to make sure we can see your game, so I can send something.
I want to double back on a couple of things since Sergeant Williams told us to be very specific. And I'm back on 53rd Street trying to understand why a second call was made to that location. You know, someone lost their life the night before in a horrific circumstance at a vigil in the morning. And so we already discussed how upsetting that was for that community, considering the circumstances. I'm trying to figure out what was necessary for the second visit to go so bad.
Like I said last week, I don't have an answer. I don't have a good answer to that. There wasn't.
Well, let me ask you this way.
I apologize to it, and it's forced us to be smarter and better about it. There are. Let me just leave it.
Let me ask you this way. Were they called out to the location? Somebody in the neighborhood called them?
They were responding to multiple calls for service in that.
From that neighborhood?
Yes.
Real quick, back to my disclaimer. Ceasefire, we do not condone, tolerate, or encourage anyone to break the law, period. Whether it's carrying a gun, selling crack, whatever it might be. We want it all out of the community. When we tell people not to have a gun, not to run, it's because we know the police are coming. Not because they don't have anything else better to do, but the residents, somebody in the neighborhood is going to call. So there's gang members congregating or whatever. So I tell them all the time, they're coming. So if you're dirty, you're going to jail. Don't ask for me to write you no letter, nothing. If you're dirty, you're going, I can't help you. So we don't condone anything. Part two question. I'm glad G-Mo is here tonight. The calls that go out, we know that generally we don't see calls that go out to interventionists on the racer when there's officer-involved shootings. And I'm not to put the burden more on interventionists that service create, but is there an answer as to why interventionists aren't summoned to these officer-involved?
You're asking me?
Yes, whoever can answer.
One of the things that we've seen over the last 4 years is the captains that are smarter and working more and more with
The investigation will do that. But they'll come out, they'll identify folks in the community, they'll try and get names, and they'll try and get on. And when I was at 77, they had tremendous success with not only RID, but other interventionists that would come out to the scene of a shooting and help us work with that. And you look at the progress that law enforcement has made based on the input from the community, especially intervention. You know, typically at a homicide scene, you know, the old LAPD would show up and we'd pull our yellow tape out, we'd push everybody back, we'd protect that crime scene, not let anybody in at all. And that body would lay in the street in front of a horrified family and friends. But based on a lot of input we had from intervention about respect and the way that was perceived in the community, we've gone out, we've bought tents, put up to protect that body, whatever it has to be left on the street to pay respect. We try and give officers additional training on the because for a long day, they went out there, they'll start talking about stuff at home and they'll start laughing. Well, that's perceived as what by the community? It's disrespect because they're laughing about the death of their loved one. So we continue to try and improve our performance based on the input, especially from intervention, because it's been so valuable. And I think that's what this is about. If we continue to do that, we need to get you back. We're fine the way what we do. You know, we get better and better at it. Now, ultimately, to bring intervention out to every officer involved shooting scene, that may be the direction that we go. But remember, the big inflammatory incident in this wasn't the officer involved shooting, it was 2 days later. And that's where, if the captain had been in the loop that night, he would have done the same thing he did the next night, and he would have sent intervention out there first to try and get a handle on it. Just like we do with repasses. You know, historically, for repasses, we flood the neighborhood with gang cops or cops so that we wouldn't get retaliation shootings. But what would that do to the community? It would inflame it because you got the pole running back up and down the street. And so now what do? We reach out to intervention, or intervention will reach out to us and say, hey, we're having a candlelight, and you park a black and white across the street. Or hey, I've got phone calls from folks in this room. We're going to be there tonight. If it starts spinning up, we'll call you. And I've got enough faith in the intervention that we'll do that. And so I think what we do is continue to build